Here's something that I noticed about these Bloodline matches. Let's talk about it. Now, the Bloodline has produced so many great segments, so many new stars. But when it comes to the majority of these matches, I would say a good 80% of these Bloodline matches are very slow and very boring. We know going into the majority of these Bloodline matches, there's always going to be interference, right? There's even probably going to be a post-match segment, something that may happen, you know, whether it's a return or somebody coming out or a Bloodline beatdown. We know certain things are going to happen. But when it comes to the match itself, when the bell rings, the ding, 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 the majority of these matches are very slow and boring. I had to finally admit this to myself, right? I watched the 6-man tag match at Crown Jewel, like most of us. Roman, Jimmy, and Jey. Excited to see the OG Bloodline come back together, right? So we get the OG 3. We get with the Usos and Roman. Then we got Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. Now we're thinking like this match is going to be epic, right? This match is just going to be a great 6-man tag from start to finish. But just like any old other Bloodline match, it was very slow and boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, these Bloodline matches they gotta start a new formula. Like, I need a Bloodline match that out the gate, they going crazy, they going heavy. And I think they're gonna do that going into War Games. I think the War Games match kind of make you keep it going to a certain speed, like a high speed. Now, I don't think there's gonna be slow parts of that War Games match, which is most likely gonna happen. But the majority of these matches, even when Roman Reigns were champion, the matches itself were very boring. The only interesting parts were the interference at the end, and then maybe there's a Bloodline beatdown, or maybe there's a return, or maybe somebody comes back to challenge Roman Reigns. But when it comes to the actual matches, I would say a good 80% of the match itself are very boring. I'm watching this 6-man tag match at Crown Jewel, and I was just like, I am bored out my mind. And I'm just thinking about all the past Bloodline matches, and it made me think the best parts about the Bloodline, like when they were on top, that whole era when the OG Bloodline was on top. I'm trying to think what matches were the best, and to me, were the Uso matches, the tag team matches. I felt like the Usos were able to operate like the Usos. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they start out high speed, a lot of action. The Uso tag team matches were never really boring to me. A lot of the Roman Reigns matches were very boring, right? I told you before, you know, starts off slow. We get the interference. We might get something that happens at the end. I think Solo Sikoa kind of took that whole thing. Roman Reigns matches kind of trickled into what Solo Sikoa was doing, right? When he had the matches with Cody, they were very slow, boring. The best part about SummerSlam was Roman Reigns coming out at the end and helping Cody Rhodes retain the championship. But there has to be a change in these Bloodline matches. There has to be a change of the pace. There has to be a change, because for the Bloodline story to get top priority, and for the most part, they get the main events of these shows, when it comes to the matches itself, the matches are boring. The best parts of these Bloodline segments are the entrances and the last, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes of the match, and maybe if there's an angle after the match, maybe there's a return, like at Bad Blood, The Rock returned, and even we go back to Bad Blood, Jimmy Uso returned. Now that I'm thinking about it, we got Jimmy Uso and The Rock returning, right? Those were the memorable parts of the match. What about the match itself? I rewatched the Bad Blood match, the tag team match, and it was boring. You know the crazy thing is, Cody Rhodes tried his best, right? He tried his best. Because to me, I feel like the more interesting parts of the actual match with Cody Rhodes at Bad Blood was the parts when he was actually in the ring. When it comes to these Bloodline matches, like I keep saying, there has to be a change in tempo. War Games, I feel like with that type of match, it's going to be something special. But it's going to be more matches after that. Roman Reigns is going to have to mix it up with Solo Sikoa one-on-one. Solo beat him. You know, they won victory apiece. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a one-on-one match between Solo and Roman Reigns, and I think that match, I'm predicting it right now, that match is going to be slow and boring. It's going to be boring. It's going to be boring. With all the stakes, with all the stuff that's going to be on the line, the Ulafala, the head of the table and all that stuff, I just feel like the match itself, when it comes to Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, when it happens, it's going to be boring. It's going to be the typical Bloodline match. It's going to be slow, and the best parts of the match is going to be the last 2 to 3 minutes with interference, probably Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu, and then the Usos is going to come out. Sami Zayn's going to come out. You're going to have all that interference, and then one of them is going to win. Most likely, it's probably going to be Roman Reigns. There you go. I didn't save everybody about 20 to 30 minutes of their life. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk to y'all about this real quickly because I just feel like something has got to change. I don't know if y'all feeling the same way about these Bloodline matches, but I am glad that match got bumped from the main event to the opening of Crown Jewel, because I'm going to admit this. The women's tag team match was better than the Bloodline match. It was the match itself. The women's tag team match was way more entertaining than the Bloodline match. It was way more entertaining, in my opinion. That's just me. Now you want to add the shock ending to the Bloodline match with Solo pinning Roman, and then you have Sami Zayn coming out. You want to add that. But what did I just say? The last minutes of these Bloodline matches and the post-match angle are the more interesting parts. When it comes to the match itself, it's very slow, predictable, and boring. These Bloodline matches got to change. They got to change. How do y'all feel about the Bloodline matches? I hope y'all get what I'm trying to say. I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying. Are y'all feeling the same way? Or are y'all entertained with the Bloodline matches? The slow, predictable way of how they go about doing things. Let your boy know. I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it in the comment sections. Let's be about this wrestling thing. Be respectful. As always, social medias will be in the description. Hit your boy up. Be respectful. Until the next video. Your boy, the Wildcat, Jay Troy. It's out.